Hello guys, what we have here is a question which was asked in the 2015 December exam. The question is that a particle moves in three-dimensional space in 3D. A particle is moving. Okay, a particle is moving with 3 degrees of freedom, of course, and under the influence of a potential. There is a potential which is acting on the particle, which is having the magnitude of kr raised to 4, where k is a constant, and angular frequency omega of the circular orbit depends upon. So there is a central potential here, and as a result of it, the particle is moving under the influence of some force which is acting towards the center in an orbit which could be circular. Okay, it could be circular, and the particle is moving in such a way around that central potential with this magnitude. So what we need to find out is omega, which is the angular frequency of the circular orbit. That's what we need to find out. You see, omega in the case of a central orbit, we have discussed this similar problem before, and omega can be calculated as root k by m, where k is the force constant, or this k is the force constant, capital K, of course. Okay, like that. Okay, force constant. And the thing is that I'm going to specify the theory behind this calculation, because it's easy to understand if I say it before. The first thing that you need to know is that the quantity that is conserved for such a circular orbit is the angular momentum. Okay, velocity cannot be conserved. It could not be a circular orbit. It could be elliptical or any such kind of orbit, and as a result of that, the angular momentum will be conserved. And the other thing is that when you perturb, okay, there's one more thing you need to know, which is the energy conservation, which you already are familiar with. So energy and angular momentum could be conserved, will be conserved. And another thing is that energy conservation is for particular orbit. Okay, if it violates or if it redirects to another orbit, shifts from one orbit to another orbit, say r to r0, r0 to r, then the energy will be changed to some value, and this energy change can be calculated as perturbation to the energy or effective energy. E effective can be represented as E0, which is the energy of orbit R0, ER0, plus E dash of R times R minus R0, plus E double dash of R minus R0 new orbit, the whole square by 2 factorial, plus E triple dash of R minus R0 the whole cube by 3 factorial. These energy corrections can be added to this to find the effective energy of an orbit. So that's the principle. That's basically what we are going to utilize to calculate this equation, because as you can see this question, because as you can see, energy in a basic form, E energy in a basic form with conserved quantities without the actual velocity in the equation, you can write it as half kx square plus some constant. Okay, so effective can call it the effective potential energy. Effective potential energy can be can be seen in this form. Okay, so as you can see, this equation has you can neglect these terms. This equation has a form of E effective is equal to E double dash times R minus R0 the whole square by 2 plus E dash of R minus R0 plus E. Okay, so this can be compared, these two equations can be compared, and we are going to do that later when we solve the problem. So we need to find out both these equations components, okay, and then relate them. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So I have just introduced you how the system works, how we are going to solve this problem. Now let's solve it. Now the first case is V of r is equal to k r raised to 4, which means that the total energy can be represented as kinetic energy plus potential energy, which can be represented as half mv square plus k r raised to 4. Okay, you can see L is equal to mvr. We are eliminating the velocity component because it's a varying component, it won't be a conserved quantity, so we are going to replace that. So it's mv square can be represented as L square by mr, mr square, of course, L square by mr square. So here we can replace mv square by L square by mr square. You can get L square by 2 mr square plus kr raised to 4. Now we can take the first derivative of the energy, okay, which can be taken as, and we can the first derivative will be 0. Why is that? Because energy will be fixed for a particular radius, right? So with the changing with the changing radius for particular orbit, the energy will be a constant. So we can assume that d by dr will be conserved if it is equal to 0. Then the conservation can be evaluated, and the L value for that particular conserved energy for a particular orbit can be calculated. Now how can we do that? We can take the derivative of with respect to r, and you get 2L square by 2 mr square, there is a minus, of course, just took the derivative, plus k4k r cube, right? I was right. Now this can be equated to be equal to 0, and you get 2 and 2 will be cancelled, and you get L square by mr square is equal to 4k r cube, and you get L square is equal to 4k m r raised to, okay, there was something mr square, right? I just took the derivative, there is a cube here, okay, sorry, that was a mistake. Okay, so when you take the derivative with respect to 1 by r square, you get minus 1 by r cube, right? So it's minus 1 by r cube times that. Okay, now we are on track now. What we can do is that we can now 4k m by, there is an r cube here, it's r cube here, 4k m r raised to 6 is the right answer. So that's L square. We found L square. We can find L as root of this, so just leave it there. And now we can take the second derivative if we want, because we are going to compare them, these two equations. So we are going to take the second derivative also. D square E by dr square will be equal to what? L square 3, and there is a minus sign, minus plus L square by m r raised to what? R raised to 4 plus 4 times 3 is 12 k r square, which is equal to, okay, that's d square E by, that's the second derivative of energy. Now what we have here, we have found L square. Now we can substitute the value of L in this. Okay, if you see this equation, if you compare this both equation, E dash is equal to 0. First derivative of E with respect to R will be equal to 0. So you can see that this equation becomes E effective becomes E double dash some function of R square by 2 plus E. Okay, if you compare them both, you get half kx square plus E and half E double dash R square plus E, which is a constant. So you can see that half k correspond to half x square correspond to half of r square, and E double dash then correspond to k. So omega is root k by m. So omega can be written as root E double dash by m. Okay, that's simple logic right there, mathematical logic. You can use that. Now all we need to do is that we can substitute the value of L into this equation, because we don't know the actual value of L. Now we can say that this equation d square E by dr square with respect to r will be equal to, when you substitute the value of L, you get what? L is equal to 4k m r raised to 6. So it's 3 times 4, that's 12 k kmr raised to 6. It's kmr raised to 6. Okay, I'm going to write it anyway. M raised to 6 by mr raised to 4. You get 12k r raised to 2. So there is a plus component also. No, this is, I just substituted for L square, and then there is a plus component also. This is equal to that, not equal to this plus what 12kr square is equal to E double dash. So 12kr square plus 12kr square is what? It's 24kr square, kr square, which is E double dash. So omega will be what? Omega will be basically, okay, omega will be, okay, I need some more space here, but it's alright. I'm going to write it in this here only. Omega is equal to root k by m. Root k by m is 24k r square by m, which is E double dash by m. So that's the answer, right? That's omega right there, and omega is proportional to, our options are proportionality based. So omega is proportional to root of r square is just r, right? Omega is proportional to r. So option A is the right one. This was very easy. Okay, this was very easy a question. You don't have to do a lot to solve this problem. You can easily see this question's answer straightforward if you are familiar with this whole concept. Okay, you don't have to do this whole thing. You just have to take the second derivative and see it for yourselves, that you can go straight from here. You can take the second derivative of energy and then write down the omega without doing all this, so it's easier to solve. Okay, so all you have to do is just take the second derivative, write the energy equation, take the second derivative, and then calculate omega. That's all you need to do. Okay, so it was easy. For more videos, you get to this link t.me/CSIRNetPhysics.